Here with Springfield's Morning News, I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY. Let's talk about cannabis. Of course, Illinois was the first state to make cannabis legal via state legislative action. In other states that it was made legal for recreational use, that was done through ballot initiatives, for instance. But a lot of states have medical cannabis. Illinois also has medical cannabis, but we have the actual recreational use for adults to consume cannabis. And the industry's huge. It's now $1.5 billion in revenue, and the taxes it's generating for the state of Illinois are hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. But it's expensive to start a cannabis business. It's not a free market. You've got huge costs right up front to apply and to get a surety bonds and a whole host of other things. So you're talking potentially millions of dollars just to get started in the cannabis industry, if you can even get a license. And to do that, you've got to go to several different state agencies: the Department of Ag, the state police, the Department of Professional Regulation, and all of these different agencies have their tentacles, so to speak, in the industry, where industry players have to go and file all these forms, and it can get really convoluted really quick. Thereby, another industry I'm sure is being created is the industry that's helping and consulting these possible startup cannabis businesses to actually, go about and get started in the business. Well, there's an idea being proposed to take all of the different avenues cannabis business operators have to go and seek out permission, and instead having it in a one-stop type of shop, and that would be to create a cannabis commission. Yesterday, I talked with the Cannabis Business Association of Illinois Executive Director Pam Althoff, and also House Assistant Majority Leader Marcus Evans, a state rep out of the Chicago area. And they shared with me some of their thoughts on what they're looking to do with a cannabis commission. So here's some of that conversation I had with the two of them while they were out in Colorado at the National Conference on State Legislatures, talking about a variety of things. But they took some time out with me yesterday to discuss what exactly is going to be happening with this possible cannabis commission.
Just keep in mind, right now we have 15 layers. So we're trying to create one layer. And I think anybody in business would rather go to a one-stop shop, rather to have to go to 15 agencies or guess where to go. You ask the average business owner, if you want a dispensary, where do you go? You go on IDFPR. If you want to do grow, you're going to ag. If you want to do something else, you're going somewhere else. It starts to get confusing. Why not have a one-stop location so everybody in the industry can know where to go? In Nevada, they're already doing that. There's other states that have one commission. Again, it's about centralizing things and time management. And business folks don't need the confusion. Even some of us are confused because I don't know which agency is which. I'm trying to tell people, answer folks. I got to bring out a flow chart. Why make government difficult?
So you can see that with like 15 different places they've got to go to get approval, why not just make it a one-stop type of shop? So that was House Assistant Majority Leader Marcus Evans talking about that and making it similar to like the Liquor Commission, or we've got expanded gambling in Illinois. What about making it like the Gaming Commission? So the question I had was, we've had a lot of different lawsuits filed over the process of getting a cannabis license. So Evans and Pam Althoff from the Cannabis Business Association of Illinois chime in on that particular issue about what exactly this possibly could do to streamline things.
Yeah, you can't control a lawsuit, but we believe that. We believe streamlining government many times stops lawsuits of confusion or just opportunities for lawyers to try to figure out a way to sue. It's about streamlining. If you got a clear commission with a clear vision, I think it makes it more difficult, I think, to have substantive cases to be brought. So we're all about clarity. If you're doing the right things, you're doing good things, government should be easy, accessible, and clear. And it's just not at this time with all the confusion. Also, politics shouldn't play a role in this. We haven't seen it now, but if we ever get a new administration, you don't want new department heads, with new ideas. A commission is more stable for the long term. That's why we use it for the liquor commission, and we use it for gaming, because you just don't want the sways of politics really to impact certain industries, especially as people get more comfortable with cannabis. Some people still think it's a dangerous drug. That's their view. We know it's not, but until then, a commission, I think, will ease some of those concerns.
Can I give you a good example, Greg? When you talk about the lawsuits, all of the lawsuits really germinated from the scoring and the concern and complaint that the scoring was not handled uniformly. If there was one commission, one entity, they would have been responsible for that contract of scoring those applications for both dispensaries and cultivators, craft grow. And they would have been the ones doing the communication directly with that KPMG, with that contract holder. This way, we actually had, one agency dealing with them with regard to the craft grow applications and one dealing with the dispensary. There wasn't even uniformity between those two agencies. So, again, as Leader Evans has stated, that the consistency would be extraordinarily beneficial to the entire industry, and more importantly, to those people trying to gain entrance into that industry.
Again, sharing some of the conversation I had with Pam Althoff from the Cannabis Business Association of Illinois and House Assistant Majority Leader Marcus Evans about a proposal to make a cannabis commission instead of a multi-agency approach where people applying to get into the agency, get into the industry, are actually, having to go and dump tons of money and resources into. Why not have it set up as if it's like, for instance, a liquor commission or like a gaming commission? So Marcus Evans is going to propose a bill. He already has one that's kind of an omnibus bill, but this next one he's going to file is just about creating this commission. So we'll see how that advances. But both Althoff, a former state lawmaker, and Evans and several other Illinois state lawmakers joined with state lawmakers from across the country over in Colorado this week for the National Conference on State Legislatures. What were they talking about? Well, that question I asked, and here's some of the conversation about what they're doing at the NCLS.
I'm a member of the executive committee and the state and local taxes task force here. So, connecting with people from across the country. We got some of the same issues, whether it's cannabis, whether it's figuring out human services, education. I think legislative leaders from across the country should be talking and sharing best practices and just connecting with each other. We should do this once a year.
And Leader Evans is the new Pamela Althoff. I was the chair of the SALT task force and was on the executive committee and ultimately was the immediate past president. But more importantly, I am trying to convince the National Conference of State Legislatures to create a division for cannabis. That obviously we would want someone from Illinois, again, Leader Evans, to take an active leadership role in that endeavor. There are 38 states now that actually have a medical cannabis program, and I think almost 23, 4, 5 that are either actively legalized adult use or are in the process of addressing legislation that would do that. So I think that this organization that's bipartisan has, participation from not only the 50 states, but all of the territories of the United States, I think it would behoove them to consider creating some kind of a task force or an entity to start dealing with the entire cannabis industry.
So interesting thoughts there from some lawmakers and the former lawmakers about the cannabis industry and looking at making a commission instead of a multi-agency approach with all the different agencies getting a cut of the resources and the time that is needed to apply and be part of the growing industry that is legal adult use cannabis in the state of Illinois. It is Springfield's